Hey everybody, we're here with Richmond comic Mike Engle,
Hello.
the host of Game of Jokes at Castleberg, and the co-host of Late Night Snack at Sticky Rice.
Yeah.
What have you been up to lately?
Well, considering I work at the Employment Commission, I've been working 50-hour weeks, 6 days a week.
Oh yikes!
Very yikes. Yeah. So, I mean, as much as I miss comedy, definitely very busy but that's part of public service. I'm very happy. I'm not directly involved with getting people benefits. So, if people don't have them yet and are mad, don't at me. But if you got them and are enjoying them, I'll also take all the credit. That was on me. But I don't know. I just very, very busy, enjoying my free time, doing a lot of video games, stuff like that. But can't wait to make people laugh. And once again,
Yeah. Do you normally
yeah.
work that much?
Oh, absolutely not. In fact, for employment stuff and government jobs in general, um, it's hard to get overtime, but now they're just approving all this overtime willy nilly because, I mean, at this current moment, it's kind of a risk to hire new people, number one. And then number two, it's just kind of like they like to keep people there. And then because their benefits are so good, it's kind of like we got the people we got. And basically they want to make people stay there till they retire. That's basically what working for the state's like. But yeah. Yeah, but how about you? What are you up to?
I don't know. I just kind of cook and clean and try not to think about things.
Distracting with household chores is good. Yeah, for
And we're
sure.
starting to try to do these, so I thought it's fun.
Oh, okay. Absolutely. Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, everybody's getting on the digital tips. I haven't done any Zoom shows, but I did watch one Zoom show. And it seemed fun. I mean, especially, you know, with having a lot of Zoom people in here, it can kind of be a risk because you don't really know what everybody's up to and who has video turned on. And some people can just stumble on Zoom rooms and they were probably in, some people might be in some precarious situations. So it's kind of like, okay. Um, but I enjoyed it. The guy that this LA comic, Keith Carey, who was on it, he headlined and did amazing. Even just amongst the comics and stuff, they were cracking up. So people actually do laugh at the material you got and stuff. So maybe I'll get enough courage to give it a try. It's just also again talking about I'm busy with work. It seems like everyone's like doing stuff that they just put off because they had other stuff going on, and that seems kind of like the motto of quarantine. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
The Zoom shows sound cool, but how would you describe your comedy?
My comedy. I like to be a little salty sweet, because I guess that's kind of my personality. I can be very curmudgeon-y and critical, especially of things I dislike. And the more I dislike something, honestly, that's stuff that I kind of want to, force myself to write about because I feel like there's a lot of evil in the world, so you gotta shed some light on it. Otherwise, it's just kind of gonna bother us all until we just don't talk about it. And I think that's, not to like put that on because I mean it's a meme now, the okay boomer thing. It's like, uh, you know, it's kind of a very succinct summation of a larger problem. And I think like with some levity and with some jokes, I think we can make the world a better place. And that's all I'm trying to do. But also trying to just be really personal and something that I kind of want to get into more. And I know you're very into, Sarah, on my next album, whenever that may be, is kind of go a little bit more into, because I've always been a big Dorcas Malorcas. I'm a very big nerd. I'm a very big nerd, and I'd like to embrace that a little more. And I already have some stuff written that didn't make this album that are kind of like lend themselves to um, some nerdery. So I think that's something like to explore in the future. But on this album, I very much get very personal and talk about stuff that basically like a lot of stuff that bothers me, but also stuff I like. Again, the salty and the sweet. A lot of stuff I don't like, stuff I do like. Pizza. We all know it to be true. I love me some pizza, and I think everybody does. I think that's another thing comics can learn is write about write about stuff you like, stuff you don't like. Just always write and keep writing but yeah, stuff that post quarantine I want to work on is a lot more my nerdy stuff, and I probably got at least like 5 minutes of that in the can, and it's just kind of when will I do my next one? That's right now very TBD, but I'd like to like do do another like 3 years of working on stuff that I like and just keep accruing jokes and stuff. So, but that's basically my comedy in a nutshell, kind of a little salty sweet, um, and just get up there and be lovable.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did you call me a dork?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I see how it is.
I mean, come on, you're wearing a Nerf herder shirt.
They're good things.
Of course they are. Yeah, I've got well, that's another thing. We've also been having, on top of COVID and all of this other stuff, we have a lot of rain. And I live in a basement. And actually, I got home today. I take one step, there is water. And the owner of the house, fortunately, lives upstairs. So I went up there. I'm like, Billy, it's leaking. And I mean, I'll just show you. I mean, there's already some sort of like puttyish stuff on the walls. And like we need some more of it. We don't have it, but I'll show you. Like, see all that white stuff right there? Like that's this. Yeah, that's the putty that I'm gonna need to procure in order to fix the problem. But apparently when it rains really heavy, that sort of thing happens. But the first thing I went for, because it's already been water damaged, and it was on the floor, so I was like, oh no, did it get messed up? Was my Return of the Jedi original 1983 poster. So it has been saved, and like if you look at the very bottom where the names are and stuff, there's a little water damage from when I was it was my first day in the dorms, and the AC unit was leaking, and I was like, oh no, like I had just
Well, the frame.
well, welcome to the real world, or the real world / college, like so that was kind of, yeah. But anywho, what were you gonna say, Sarah?
I said, well, the frame hopefully helps
A little bit, yeah, a little bit, but I mean that AC unit, it was really leaking something fierce. So, but luckily, yeah, it was underneath the couch and just to the right enough so that I could save it once again. But yeah.
We kind of talked about this, but you have a new comedy album coming out called Personal Pizza. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, I've been doing comedy about 5 years or so, all around the Richmond area, Virginia, DC, and it's again just some like all the stuff I'm proud of, and I thought that was worthy of being on an album. I probably took about like 5 to 6 months to kind of make sure that it was ready, and that was a big part of it. Making sure the material was ready was very key. But no, it's just again my little first thing, because I guess like I have no business being 5 years in and putting something out. I mean, people have been doing it 10, 12, 13 years and haven't put out an album or a special or anything. But the way I look at it is kind of like, all right, well, do I want to be 40 and put out my first one, or do I want to like put out my first one and obviously if as we're all just getting better as we go along type thing. I think that's true of like any art, you know, like a painter's going to be better than they are, you know, at, you know, you don't really want to hopefully not go down in quality wise, but you know, my thinking was just like, all right, there's got to be a first time for everything. I did not obviously plan on all of this. I had recorded it back in January, and you know, I had pitched it to a couple people, a couple record labels and stuff, but honestly, then this happened. It's just like, well, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go ahead and just put it out and see what the world thinks. And newsflash, nobody cared, but that's okay. I feel like again, it's like a first thing. I'm like, you know, I'm not famous. It's just like, you know, my friends and family that are going to enjoy it. It's there for everybody. And I hope all your listeners and everybody and all your viewers check it out too. You can just stream it on Spotify, and you can pay for it places. But again, everybody's struggling right now. I honestly, I knew what I was getting into putting it out during quarantine. It's just like, okay, if you can, I would love that if you paid for it, but again, and who pays for anything anymore? Just stream it. It's on YouTube and Spotify. So yeah, so that's Personal Pizza. I cover everything from, you know, I cover everything, but I start up top with pizza, and then we dive into some of my more political stuff, and then again to the personal aspect. Just a lot. You learn a lot about me, and some stuff like, you know, just again, a lot of me on there, and having a good time. And it was really it was a great album recording. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better turnout. Castleberg, as you mentioned, I mentioned I do Game of Jokes there, and a lot of those people came out and supported and stuff. But our buddy Winston Hodges, he literally looked around the room and counted everybody. 87 people, and the max capacity there is 90. So
Wow.
yes, oh my gosh, yeah. So I couldn't have, yeah. And I mean, everyone who went on before me just did amazing. They're all amazing comics as well. So it's just like the only way that I could have like screwed it up was if like it was all on me. So I went up there and just felt totally comfortable because I'm like, wow, this has been an amazing show so far. Like, can't mess this up. So it's kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot of pressure, and then to do 40 minutes too was like, wow. Like, I mean, again, I had done this material for like at least 6 months in advance. That's something I would, if you're a comedian who's thinking of like recording something or putting out an album, the longer amount of time that you're planning on doing, add that many more months of just like, and you know, again, we're at the open mics and stuff, and people have heard our stuff all of the time. What I did just to keep my sanity is like, all right, I'll start with one new joke that I know that I just wrote and that I'm proud of, and like that I know isn't going to be on the album, just for myself, but also for the other comics, because they're going to hear like the rest of this 4 minutes that I'm going to do is like stuff they've heard over and over and over and over again. So, but definitely plan to do those bits a lot, so that by the time it comes to record, everything's ready to go. Everything's in tip-top shape. But so yeah. that was a really special night for sure.
Yeah, listen to it on Amazon.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Amazon's great. I love Amazon. But at the same time, it's a convenience factor. But yeah. Well, thanks for listening, Sarah. Appreciate it.
You call it Personal Pizza because it's personal and you like.
It's personal and I like pizza. Yeah. That actually came from Jesse Jarvis. Jesse Jarvis a couple of years ago was like, your first album, Personal Pizza. And I'm like, I like that. Just as an amazing host around town. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Okay, so you said favorite pizza is Tombstone, but what's your favorite pizza place?
My pizza place. Okay, yeah, exactly. My favorite pizza place Like, are we talking chain or local to Richmond? Because I can do both.
I
Because
do both.
both? Okay, cool. Okay, we'll do both. So my favorite local pizza joint is Belmont Pizza, and that's actually where the album cover comes from. That mural outside of it is on the side of Belmont. I love it. They were so nice to like. I actually like needed for some more promotional stuff. We needed to borrow. Um, I guess you call it like a pizza glove, you know, that the delivery people have, because we needed to do like a fake delivery. So we got my bud, Darren, one of the managers at Banditos. He he's going up the steps, and it's kind of like basically my first joke of the entire album, which is actually one of the first jokes I ever wrote, where he's going up the steps of somebody's house, and he sees me and he waves at me, and then the next photo, that the whole photo shoot was amazing, by the way. My friend Jerry Wynn, got to shout her out. Green Velvet Photography. She did an amazing job. But it's basically 3 pictures, like one of me walking by, him walking up the steps. There was another photo of him like waving at me, and the third photo is like me on the ground in the fetal position crying. Because I'm like, no one wants to like be recognized by their pizza guy. That's kind of, it's like, that's embarrassing. That's kind of like your teacher seeing you in public and being like, oh, hello. Like, you know. So I thought that was pretty cool. But
Yeah.
Belmont, yeah. So local pizza joint, Belmont. Now, if we gotta go like a national chain, gosh, that's tough. Only like, yeah, it's tough but true, and also fair. I mean, despite politics wise, I love a Papa John's. I'm not gonna lie. I love biting the little the little peppercini and then just spreading that in, and then it soaks into the cheese. Ah, so good. I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I do love a Papa John's. But yeah, so that's my pizza answer.
Okay, so next pizza question.
Okay, ready for
I don't
it.
like sardines, so what is your favorite pizza topping?
Okay, yes, sardines. You can, yeah, you can listen to that bit, but very against sardines. My favorite of all time. I like the classics. I'm a pepperoni guy. You know, if I'm amongst you know, vegetarians, non-meat eaters, you can sub pepperonis, mushrooms for me. I'll do mushrooms. I like all the peppers. Like I said, I mean, Papa John's gets me with the pepperoncinis, but I also like green pepper for a nice crunch. Um, what other meats, I suppose? And I mean, um, you know, that's why I didn't even touch on it. I know it's very divisive, but pineapple's fine. I like flavors of toppings that will seep into the cheese, that obviously aren't fishy in nature. You know. I love. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anchovies as well aren't my thing. Again, fishy in nature, soaking into the cheese, can't do it. But pineapple, fine, especially with like a ham or something. I think Hawaiian is a very. You're not wrong with Hawaiian. I mean, you know. But yeah, top meat, I would say pepperoni. You know, a sausage is fine. You know, I would say above sausage though, it would go for me meat wise. Pepperoni. I really like. I'm trying to think of the name of the chorizo. I'll do pepperoni, chorizo, then sausage as far as my meats go, and then veggies slash fruits. Green pepper at the very top, and then number 2 would probably be mushrooms, and I'm not entirely sure on the third one there. Maybe I should eat a little healthier, and then I might have an opinion. But well, like I'm very agreeable too. Again, I aim to please. I'm a comedian. I wanna make sure everyone's having a best time, their best life. A lot of people against olives as well. Olives are fine. I love black olives. That's fine. Throw those on there. Um, yeah. And also, also the beauty of the pizza is you can please everybody. just be like, all right, half this, half the other thing, you know? So that's my toppings hot takes.
Okay, cool. So why did you
Yeah.
decide to start performing stand-up comedy?
Oh, wow. Okay. So, um, basically after I graduated college, I got a very, very well, it was at first I got hired to be it was like a mass hiring of people for a call center. And back to the salty sweet. Basically, this job, what I was doing was people would call in upset and wanting money and their checks from our client, which was BP, due to the 2010 BP oil spill. And this was in 2012. So people were mad. It'd be, like seafood restaurants that had to shut down and stuff like that. Like, it was bad. And people were upset. So they were calling in upset. And, you know, it just gave me a whole newfound respect for people that work at banks and stuff like that. People where like people are calling in and they're calling in upset and ready to yell at somebody. That is something that I don't have the patience to deal with. And sometimes I try to help people out too much. I got in trouble for that, which I find a little odd / weird. Like, there was this one guy who kept calling in specifically and was like, yeah, I'm handicapped. I'm in a wheelchair. I have a restrictive diet. Like, my diet requires me to only eat seafood, but I'm also handicapped, so I can't go out fishing for myself, So, um, he like kept filing what's called like a sustenance claim, and then it's just kind of like, I really want to help this guy, but I can't. Long story boring. I get kicked off the phones, and that opened me up to the wonderful world of basically classifying people's tax documentation that they would have to send in to file claims against BP, who obviously is in the wrong. BP, caused this whole mess and they have millions of dollars. They should pay these people. So, podcasts. Yeah, so I got into podcasts. Some of the first ones I listened to, again, back to being a nerd, loved Nerdist. Nerdist was really great. You Made It Weird, WTF. And, all these podcasts, basically what it boils down to is like, if you want to do stand-up comedy, you got to get out there and try it. And in college, I knew Jacob McFadden. So I hit him up because I knew he did comedy, and he actually hosted Pie every Saturday for years and years and years. And so I'm like, okay, I emailed him. I was like, I'm thinking of doing my first open mic. What do you say? Is it okay? Can I go on the list? He's like, yeah, just be here this time. And I've been doing comedy ever since. Just I caught the bug and still continue to listen to podcasts to this day. In fact, some of my some of the people on those podcasts have toured, and I've had the pleasure of opening for them. I've had people hit me up that I love from podcasting and want to do Castleberg, and they've done the Castleberg show, and like, that's huge to me. Like, I mean, I never thought I'd be Mr. Richmond, but I love it. I love it. Yeah, if I'm the go-to comedy Richmond guy, that's very like cool to me. And I mean, there are so many funny comics here that it's just like kind of apples and oranges. It's just like everybody like does their own thing, so unique, and also funny too. That's the other thing, is like, I just love being around funny people, listening to funny people, and that's the beauty of stand-up. I think is that it's definitely the great unifier. And what scares me the most about all of this is just like, will that have to change? Will that have to evolve? I hate the phrase "new normal" because I think us as a species have gotten to the point where it's like, well, we've kind of moved past that, and we can figure out something else. I just I miss it's a big part of it's just missing it, but we'll be able to do it again. And But that being said, that's what got me into it. Absolutely 100% podcasts, and then actually doing it and catching the bug and getting the live laugh. It's basically like live laugh reacts, and it's like, haha, I gotcha. I like that little part of it too. A little part of me really enjoys the aspect of like, it's kind of like going up behind someone, because horror and comedy are kind of, not kind of, very similar, because once the surprise is gone, it's kind of like, okay, I could watch that horror movie again, but I know where all the scares are, type deal. Same thing with jokes. I know where all the laughs are supposed to be, or where people like where I should like take a moment to pause and let people laugh and stuff like that. But it's kind of like going up behind someone and saying boo, but instead of seeing them jump, you make them giggle with joy, and I enjoy that. So that's what started me on the path.
So was Pie your first open mic?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in July of 2014, my first open mic, and yeah, it definitely was a very weird vibe, because again, it's a restaurant, and it's also a small restaurant where you enter, and it's basically like, and it was also very strange. It was a pizza place that would run out of pizza supplies, which probably led it to like that, and a lot of other things probably led it to being run out of business. Like they also had a very bad problem with the commode, uh, which was actually right next to the stage. So people who had to use the bathroom would have to like cut in front of you, like to get in there, and that was always so fun. Like everyone loves getting walked in front of when they're trying to do their art type deal. But yeah, no. It was definitely probably but at the same time, because it was my first, and also just it was probably about a year and a half before and there was also other weird things about it, such as like someone had complained about the noise there. And so because of that, Jacob's great at technicalities and loopholes, because so apparently the cops got called on us. Like, who's calling? Like, I hear too much laughter, you know what I mean? And so, like, people are having too good a time over there. I guess maybe like because upstairs, there was a downstairs area where the comedy was, but upstairs was more um, if you just wanted to be at a bar and have general bar vibes. You can go upstairs and avoid the comedy, but if you want to come in and see the comedy and laugh, that was downstairs. And so I assume because upstairs had like some music playing, maybe that's what they called about. Either way, they were going to cancel comedy altogether. But then Jacob had the great idea of, he's like, well, it's not technically, an act or a performance if we're sitting down. So everyone's going to come and they're going to do their comedy sitting down, Mark Maron style, so that we can get around this weird technicality that I guess was being like forced upon us. But yeah, that was Pie. A lot of like, again, a lot of fond memories just because it was my first, and also secondly just because a lot of weirdness surrounding it.
Cool. Always wanted to
Yeah.
sit down, so I guess that's why. I didn't know.
Oh,
I didn't
absolutely.
know
There
that.
was it. Yeah, yeah. It definitely had a lot of weird things going on. It's like, I mean, come on, your business. Like, is literally. I guess the only reason I can think of is because are your drink sales literally like paying the rent so much that it's just like, you know what? We're called Pie. Pizza, secondary. Everyone's here to drink, you know? Like what's kind of the logic behind that? I didn't really understand, but obviously they didn't either. That's why they got shut down. And the other weird part is, I don't know if it's still there, but there's a banner on the south side of Richmond. On the side of the building, it says Pie coming soon. And I swear that's been up there for 2 to 3 years. I don't think Pie's making a comeback, but
Oh.
yeah. Rest in peace, Pie.
Okay, so how do you come up with your joke ideas?
Okay, so I definitely will have an idea, and I'm the type of person, I don't even mess with notebooks or anything like that. I'm not a tactile pen to paper type guy. I am a 21st century digital boy. And I will immediately go for my phone and just like type on my phone, type on my phone, type on my phone. Let me see. I'll give you a grand total. This is just all creative stuff / reminders, etc. But it's going to be a big number. 677 notes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and yeah. So that makes finding older ones a little crazy sometimes, but what I also do is I record every set. Well, I don't think if you go to voice memos it'll tell you, but I mean, you can just keep scrolling on my phone. First one is January 27th of 2018, and that's only because that's when I got this new phone. So, but yeah, I try to record every set, and will I listen to them? I'll be honest, I listened to a lot before the album, kind of out of panic / I want to make sure the rhythms are good and I'm not missing little tags and stuff that I come up with and then forget about, because some of that stuff in the moment is really good, and you can recreate that if it's a funny enough tag or whatever. But so that's the recording, and then also I'll show you this because it's pretty embarrassing. I'll bust it out. So basically, in lieu of a journal or a notebook that a lot of open mic comics like bring on stage, I write on these tiny little pieces of paper that have, just the name of the joke so I know what the joke is, and I quarter up those sheets of papers so that, and then for the next night I just write a whole new one on it. Sometimes I doodle on them. They're basically like notebooks that I don't mind losing because I've got it all right here.
Yeah.
That's like the main thing. But I do have a Tupperware container with literally, like, if people found it, they'd be like, this guy is a serial killer. They are. They just, because it just has like little nonsense, like phrases that I need to know what jokes I'm going to do for that particular night. But I'll show. It's a lot. It is a lot of that. But hold on one second. Smithfield deli free, but there's no ham in it. It is nothing but, oh geez Louise, this stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. More. Yeah, just a lot of stuff. And also, so here's like, some game of jokes. Let me see if you were on this one, Sarah. Yeah, I got some, like, yeah, just a lot of lists and random stuff, but no, it seems like a little bit of a newer one. Yeah, that was Leela Yeomans and Pressman, which I think was the very last one. No, I think there was one more after that, but it's a fairly new one. But yeah, I mean, just, oh geez. Like you do, yeah, it's just one of these things where you look at them and it's just like, okay, that's like, and yeah, it's like, it's literally just like all the memories start flooding back to you with the bits of Christmas past. But
Keep them,
yeah,
famous and sign them and sell them.
oh my gosh. Well, we'll see about all that. I love Richmond. That's the thing. And I mean, that's why I was talking about my job with the state. I mean, the fun part about that is that I do like Richmond so much that I don't have any plans on moving anytime soon. And I love comedy. It's great. But, there's comedy here, and I like the friends I've met through comedy here and all of my friends outside of comedy. I just love Richmond so much that I can't see myself, at least at this current, well, honestly, especially during this current time, moving anywhere or going anywhere else with it. I'd love to tour and visit other cities and stuff and make people laugh there, but like I don't have any like aspirations of moving or anything. I like where I'm at and my level of fame again of just like again people are hitting me up, which I really like and enjoy. It's very flattering that comics know me and want to be on my shows and stuff. That's very very flattering. But yeah, no, I love Richmond and I love comedy and again, who knows what the future will hold. We are definitely living in very uncertain times, but yeah, Richmond's great.
So do you have like a best show and a worst show? You
A
talk about?
best show? Okay. Well, I mean, honestly, well, the album recording was very good. That is kind of cliche. I'll go with a show that I didn't even expect to get on that I really enjoyed. So I really like back to podcasts. I really like this podcast called Mean Boys, and actually the guy who I saw in that my first Zoom show that I watched that I was telling you about, basically this guy Keith Carey and Tom Goss and Connor McSpadden, they came to well, besides Connor McSpadden, he actually had a Just for Laughs audition so he was not at the show, but they were playing Washington D.C. and I had a show the next night in D.C. and I was already planning on going to see them just to enjoy the show, and because I love them. And so they put on Facebook kind of a blast out like, hey, if you know any DC comedians, hit us up because we need more comedians for the show, especially since their buddy had to fly back to LA for the Just for Laughs audition. And so I tell them like, hey, I'm coming up to see the show. If you already have enough other comedians, that's fine. But I just want to let you know that I do comedy too, and I'd love to do some time if you'll have me. And he's like, well, we are fully booked on like all the other comedians who are probably going to do like a solid like 7 to 10 minutes. But if you want to get up there and do 5 minutes, you can. And so I do, and it went really well. And honestly, making people that have brought me so much joy laugh, that was a really special night because again, you listen to a podcast, it's just like these people have been in your ears for hours and hours and hours, and so to be able to make them laugh, really like that was a thrill. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say that performing for 87 people that were like there to see me and like on the same page as me for 40 minutes and laughing really hard, and it's documented, and in order to make an album, that is kind of, you couldn't ask for anything more than that. So that's definitely best show. Worst show, you gotta count open mics in worst in worst shows. So yeah, luckily I've never like, well, I was gonna say I don't think I've ever bombed to any amount of people that like would make me feel bad. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you go to Kazi's and it's like the wait staff and 3 to 4 people and you don't do well, and then it's just kind of like, oh well, it's still practice me getting in front of people and saying the things that I hope a larger amount of people will laugh at and find funny, and then you can just kind of write those off as, well, that was kind of bad, but I appreciate the stage time type deal. But as far as things that are bad, I did get booed at this open mic, and it wasn't just me. That's where I think I had a problem. My problem was I was, hanging out in the back, just minding my own business, probably scribbling down bird scooters as I do on my yeah on my little pieces of paper and whatnot. But so I was just back there minding my own business, and there was this table of basically just jerks. Like they were, talking smack on all the comedians. Like there were about like 3 or 4 comedians before me, and I think that's where I have a problem. Like you can talk bad about me all you want, but if you mess with other comics, like I'm not gonna stand for that. I feel like I have to say something, but I also hate confrontation. So what I do is I go up there, I start doing my act, and then I knew that in doing this particular table would have a problem with it. Um, and it's not even a political joke. It is about it is a joke about having sex with poop, and and they didn't even let me get to that part because all they heard was the word Trump, and I mentioned Trump, and then they're like, boo, boo. And then I just go off on them. And I'm just like, look, everybody here, we're just trying to work on our art, and you're here just ruining the whole thing. By the way, I was eavesdropping on your entire conversation. Like, you clearly aren't enjoying yourselves. Why are you still here? Oh, it's because you're cowards, because here is the stage, here is the door. You are too afraid to leave. You obviously have all of your food packed up. Why are you doing this to us? You know, it's just like you're being awful. And so then I'm just at that point I just abandon everything. I'm like, get your host back up here. Like, y'all are gonna enjoy the rest of the show, but I gotta get off stage very clearly. And that was also the last time that open mic happened. So I don't want to say I got that open mic shut down, but it probably had something to do with it. But again, I hate confrontation, but I just had to find out why they were being the way they were. So I go over to the table, and um, basically I'm just like, why? You know, why are you guys being this way? Like, and the guy, you know, he's drunk, and he's just like, man, I didn't even hear what you were saying. I only caught it at the last second. You know, it's just kind of more insulting that they weren't even paying attention and felt it was okay to boo. You know, like at least boo me for a good reason. But he's just like, yeah, I wasn't even, whatever. I was just booing to boo and whatever. And then I'm like, well, dude, like, you know, we've been working at this for years. We're all just up there trying new stuff. Like, it's not fully formed, you know, jokes yet. It's just what we think would be funny. And he's just like, man, you gotta get up there. You gotta like have more fun with your jokes. Like, I was just giving you criticism, as if booing people is criticism. No, it's being a jerk. And so I was just like, listen, like, that's not cool. And he's like, well, if you can't take criticism, maybe you shouldn't be a comedian. And that's when I got very upset. I wanted to do a lot of things. But the thing that I did, because I've worked in restaurants before, and I didn't want to like take his food, throw it on the floor, any number of things I could have done, you know, take his food, spit in it, whatever. I didn't do any of that. Instead, I just took a napkin and I submerged it in his water. And the way he reacted was kind of just like, I could not, like, I might as well have just been like, you know, your mother's a whore and your father smells of elderberry, you know? Like, he was so upset with me, and I just immediately left, got in my car, boom. So that's the worst show. But I feel justified, and again, it wasn't just me. At least I got them to stop. I got them thrown out. The rest of the show, I heard, went better. I was the hero of the night for saying something. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, yeah.
I don't
So
think
that
that
was the
was
worst
you.
one.
I think they just had a problem with everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And at that point, again, yeah, at that point, again, that's what led me to go over there and be like, why? You know, like, if you're not going to be in the mood for a comedy show, you should relocate to somewhere where there isn't a comedy show. So, especially, again, they were already ready to go before the show even started. So the fact that they stuck around just led me to believe, like, they didn't want someone to make a little comment as they walk out or whatever. I didn't even know what they expected to happen, but for some reason they were just didn't want to leave. I don't know.
Oh.
They weren't drinking either. That's the other thing. Like, they were being jerks, but not drinking. I distinctly remember it being a water. So it's kind of like, but then again, I guess they do serve waters with beers, especially to people who have had one too many. So who's to say? But they were being jerks.
Are you allowed to say what open mic it was?
Oh yeah, it was. Oh yeah. Because it doesn't happen anymore. It was the So there's City Dogs, but there's the City Dogs that's downtown, and Benjamin Brayman hosts that one. Um, you know, that's more of a monthly showcase type thing. And this was City Dogs in the Fan, or on Main Street, which is kind of VCU Central, let's say. So it's a bunch of entitled college kids with mommy and daddy's money type deal. Yeah. So that's what we were dealing with that particular night. But
A different.
yeah.
What's something that people would be surprised to know about you?
Okay. Probably not this. I play Magic the Gathering. Again, I gotta start writing more to my dorkness. But yeah, I love Magic. That's like probably my number one hobby. Besides comedy, I like video games and stuff too. Do I have any? Oh, I mean, I don't know. I kind of like make all my passions kind of. I think that kind of goes with comedy. All my passions aren't really super secrets. I can play the drums. I've been playing drums since I was 12. I'm in a band called the Alex Jonestown Massacre punk rock band, and I really like it. I really enjoy playing drums and stuff. Always loved it. Yeah, I'm an open book. I don't think I really have any huge secrets. I'm not like double jointed or anything cool.
You like collect anything?
Yeah, I mean, again, like magic cards, and this isn't even like a fraction of the collection. This is just stuff that I'd gone through my stuff and like set aside, and it's still a large amount. I mean, this is what we're working with, just with stuff that I pulled recently. It's like, this is my tiny like corner of shame. And that Teferi's Protection, that's like a $20 card I'm just like letting sit out. And as I told you earlier, like my basement's leaking. Luckily it's up high and on a shelf. So yeah, single pieces of cardboard can get kind of expensive, but the rest of it is right here. Like there's hold on. Like, yeah, there's a lot. There's of course also a face mask, gotta be safe. But yeah, underneath that, there's a huge like thing that holds, I don't even know, like 3,000 cards or something, with a $10 box of cardboard that holds more cardboard. Yeah, I do like collecting. Well, I'm trying to think of other stuff I collect. Definitely not steak quarters. That is also on my album. Yeah, definitely not that. Also, I mean, I like collecting toys a little bit too. I'll show you. I don't know if you saw when I was showing off the magic stuff. I got a little toy collection going. Here's like my little like shrine of toys and stuff. Got like Pikachu's in there.
Oh.
You know, yeah. Super duper Saiyan Goku. I don't know what they call that. But yeah, my little.
I saw Luigi. There's Luigi.
Yeah, Star Wars stuff too. I'm way not as into Star Wars as much as my roommate is. I can show you his well, the guy who owns the house, because I live in his basement, but he has these bigger like Star Wars stuff. But all this tiny Star Wars stuff I'm about to show you is all mine. We got like the Taco Bell toys. I don't know if you remember those, but it's like a little Yoda / Darth Vader. I got like a little Millennium Falcon, and I think that Yoda is also from Taco Bell. But these bigger ones, those are all Billy. And then, I mean, I can. He might be mad. I'm gonna show you anyway because it's so ridiculous. This is Billy's, and I'm thinking he sells them too. But this is his. He's the real collector of the house. Okay, here we go. We're in the room.
Oh.
This is all the light that's in here, I guess. Well, let me show you just what's in the hallway then. I'm not going to show you the real room if this is the lighting in the room. But like,
Horror movie.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'll be in the bright hallway, but yeah, this is it. And that's just a portion. Yeah, that's just like,
That's cool.
So, yeah, Yeah, and then this is the room of failed experiments. I got all my drums around here too, but like you tried brewing beer, there that is. There's the washing machine and the sad drums in the corner because we had to pull out of our practice spot. Because there's no use paying rent for a place we can't congregate, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So, but yeah, we'll play music again one day. I do enjoy that a lot. Miss my buddies, my bandmates. But anything else I collect? Nope, just magic. Magic is the main thing. Love magic cards.
That was a good tour.
Yeah. Yeah, tour the basement. Loving it. Yeah, I like it down here. I also got my own bathroom. I mean, it very much like I literally only have to go upstairs to go to the fridge.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I guess. So is there anything that you would like to try to do or accomplish that you haven't done yet?
Again, I mean, well, I will say this. After doing the album, 40 minutes is one of the longest sets I've ever done. Very, very long time to be up there captivating people for 40 minutes straight. I felt amazing. I've never felt better in my entire life, especially because everyone come out specifically for me, had a great time. Awesome. I've also never felt like so exhausted in my entire life. I was like wiped out just from like the adrenaline, and it was over and then it wasn't anymore. So like it definitely made me like, as sad as it is to say, like, I mean, like, like people like basically like you have to be very, very sound of mind to do that every single night and have that feeling every single night, like years and years and years. Like, being on the road, it seems exhausting, but seems like it could be very fun. I would need to have someone that I trust and like know very well before I did that. But yeah, as far as something that I would want to do comedy wise that I haven't done yet, definitely touring would be very cool, I think. Again, I don't know how I would do that, but it'd be cool. That's something that's one thing that I would want to do comedy wise. Something that I would want to do but haven't yet that isn't comedy related. Definitely, I don't know if I could skydive. That definitely seems very scary. Skydiving, I feel like I would just have a heart attack, even if someone's like attached to me type deal. I don't think I could do that. Maybe bungee jump though. Also, as glasses wearers, it wouldn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like I'd be having this like awesome experience. I wouldn't be able to enjoy it unless like I got contacts. And again, too much of a Dorcas Malorcas. I would rather just have I have a little bit of tape because someone hugged me too hard and my glasses fell off my face before quarantine. And now that it's quarantine, I'm not going to a Costco unless I absolutely, absolutely have to. That's where I get my glasses in bulk at Costco. But yeah. So yeah, I think that's something I would want to do. But yeah, comedy wise, tour, and I think it'd be cool. And also like again, just having like I haven't made them yet, but I'm thinking of making just kind of like do-it-yourself sleeves and stuff, and like burning CDRs with the album on it, and that might be, you know, some good merch. Also, just an excuse for like people to come up after the show and say hey. That's another thing. Like through comedy, people are so nice. Like after shows, like we really liked your stuff, or but also I'm very weird, and yeah, people can tell. So they're either intimidated, which they shouldn't be, because while I may be weird, I don't think I give off any like intimidating vibes, you know, on stage or anything like that. But number two, you know, it lets me connect with the other weirdos, which I like. That's like if I can get a laugh out of like people who, you know, like this, like similar stuff as me, or are into the same stuff, that that means the most to me. Like I know you're supposed to like enjoy the fact you got to be mainstream, and like you know, you kind of want your comedy to be broad and relatable so that everybody gets the laughs, but it's like the nerds that are like, I like that reference, that like warms a little cockle in my heart. So
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like I've been told I'm not relatable enough, and I'm like, whatever. I'm just
yeah, screw them. Be yeah, because my biggest advice for anybody starting comedy, thinking about starting comedy, be yourself, because if you're yourself, you're going to be the most happy with the jokes that you tell and the way you tell them and the way you are on stage. You'll find all that out as you keep doing it and keep doing it, keep doing it. And yeah, exactly. If people don't like it, you know, forget them, and it'll be fine. And someone will like it. If you like it, what I've learned is that someone else will like it too.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you want to add?
Um, I mean, you know, just you know, if you type in Mike Engle, all the stuff's gonna pop up that we've been talking about. My album, Personal Pizza, on Instagram and Twitter, and Facebook, at Engletron, ENGLETR0N. Um, I actually have a really old podcast with some Richmond comics. I just have Richmond comics on and I interview them. Basically, about like starting out and stuff like that. It was very much more focused on like I'm starting out. Most of my friends are starting out. They're only like a year or two in, so that's kind of like figure this out together type deal. And that's still up on iTunes. It's called Endless Bummer. Kind of like my outlook on life, or well, my outlook on comedy, because it is kind of an endless bummer. Like, you know, but for every night that I described, like my worst night with those guys where I had to shove that napkin in that water, like for every night like that, there's like 10 to 15 times where it just felt really good to make people laugh. Someone fell out of their chair one time. Like, you know, you try to grasp onto those moments more than you think about the napkin waters. And yeah, so that's me on all the things, Mike Engel, and that's all I'd really like to add. Thanks for having me, Sarah.
Thank you for doing it. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Awesome.
You really fun, because you fit those talents, dinosaurs at the mine.